Hey guys, and welcome back to Making Spirituality Real with Jade. Today I'm here with another pick a card for you, and this pick a card is about making decisions. It's about this one key decision in your life that's going to set you on track when it comes to your life purpose. So the basic question that this pick a card is going to answer is, what key decision, what even small action do I have to take to set off a chain reaction that's going to put me towards a correct path that leads to my life purpose. And this is something that's going to influence all areas of your life. It's going to influence your career, your friendships, your love life. Those things are interconnected, so if you are thinking that your fulfillment lies only in one of those areas separately, then this is not the truth, because obviously it's the combination of all of those above. So in order to be fulfilled in all of those areas, you need to be on this one path that leads to flourishment of the entirety of your life. And in this pick a card you're going to know what kind of small element is going to unlock the power that you have within you. It's going to be different for everybody else, which is why I prefer to put more piles and maybe make the message slightly shorter, just so that you know what key element is going to lead you towards fulfillment of your life path. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to this reading. Please join me on my channel and subscribe, and I'm going to move on to the cards. Hey guys, so I'm here already with my cards. So as I said before, this life-changing pick a card reading is all about what you need to do to turn your life around with one small decision that's going to produce a chain effect of events that are going to have a positive effect on your life. Because the thing is that we are all one decision away from working magic in our lives, all of us, with no exception. So with this reading I'm going to ask the cards for you, what is that special magic you've got, what is the special X factor that you need to unlock in order to progress and to move your life forward if you're feeling stagnant. What pile exactly? We also have a little Valentine's weekend special here today. Like this is a timeless pick a card reading, so it doesn't matter when you watch it, it's going to be valid. But I'm recording this like on the Valentine's Day weekend, so there you go, a little love from me to you. So let me just check how many piles should I make, how many piles should I have. I want to make this reading slightly shorter because my readings are so long that YouTube has a hard time uploading them and my PC has a hard time rendering them. I'm going to try to keep it down to 2 hours instead of 4. The thing is that this doesn't need to be long because all you need is just this one piece of information. So I would prefer, like I said, to make more piles with more sweet and precise pieces of information so that it can be useful to you. Okay, so one pile, second pile, third pile, fourth, fifth. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna have 10 piles today, you guys. We're gonna have 10 piles. We have 10 piles. This is pile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And of course I'm gonna put timestamps down below so that you can pick your pile. And again, thank you for joining me in this reading. Please watch my other pick a card videos, my other spiritual videos that I make, and please subscribe to my channel or leave a nice comment. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and see you in your pile in your reading. Okay, pile 1, let's see what kind of key decision do you need to make to turn your life around. What kind of action do you need to take so that the cards, pun fully intended, start playing in your favor. And we have the Two of Cups. I'm smelling some Aries energy here, because the Two of Cups is about the blessing coming from union, the blessing coming from partnerships and from the emotional fulfillment that those can bring. So I feel that maybe you're the type who kind of maybe tends to go it alone in some area of your life, and because of that you are not living up to your full potential, because you're just like, yeah, no, I don't need anybody, I prefer to do things on my own. But Tarot is saying that for you, pile 1, what's important is that you should appreciate more partnerships in your life. And this can manifest in a variety of ways, since this is a general reading. So let's say that maybe you frown on romantic relationships, but then you could end up meeting a romantic partner who could also help you with your career. Maybe you have a personal project in your career that you're really close to, and you feel like you don't want to share this project with anybody. But again, it's a mistake, because having a business partner could benefit you in this situation. Maybe even some Capricorn energy also, because Capricorn can be like this. They think that they can do everything alone, and they're very strict and business minded. And I feel like there is a reason why you are like this, pile 1. Maybe there has been some sort of deception or disappointment or heartbreak in the past, and because of this you have locked yourself away. But Tarot is saying that for you to progress and succeed in life, it's time for you to let go. It's time for you to let go and embrace the possibility of a healthy union with a partner, be that business or personal, because it can be an either scenario depending on the person. You have to open yourself to some kind of divine union in some area of your life, and this is to get your life going. Maybe even if this goes well, you're going to establish a long-lasting partnership, be that business or personal, and this kind of thing could become the foundation and the rock of your life, and on this foundation other blessings can manifest in your life. So this of course does not have to be every area of your life. This may be just this one particular area where you refuse to surrender to partnerships where this is necessary. And the thing is, like I said, since this is a general reading, you know which area in your life this is going to concern. So think about the pile 1, and you really need to open up your heart again. You need to open up your heart again to your own balance of divine masculine and feminine, and to the divine unions with other people. I'm going to pull some extra cards to see if there are any other messages that Tarot has for you. Oh, okay. 2 of them fell out for you. We have the 7 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So this 7 of Swords is confirming for me what I already said with this 2 of Cups, is that you're blocking yourself emotionally from something. From something new, some new union, some new partnership, some new chance for emotional fulfillment. It's there for you, and you are not going towards it because you are afraid. And this 7 of Swords is confirming this to me further, that this, however, this thing you're afraid of is needed for you to progress in your life. It might feel like it's an unsurmountable difficulty, but the thing is that once you do it, you're going to wish that you would have done that sooner. So it's so funny that this one should fall out. So really, don't be afraid to go towards this thing that you desire so much. Don't be afraid of the new. Don't be afraid of don't get yourself stuck in the old patterns just because they feel safe. Again, this sounds very Capricorn to me, but the thing is that aren't we all like that? That this is one of the basic traits of the human race that's very visible in our South Node, that we tend to cling to the comfortable and predictable because we are afraid of the new. But here, like I said, there really is some opportunity that you have. You have it already. Sometimes karmically we are on a different path currently in our lives, or we are experiencing some sort of transit that's more of a lesson to us, and because of this, blessings are not happening because we have lessons to learn instead. But for you, I feel like these opportunities, these blessings, they are there. And like I said, you're locking yourself away because you're being too stubborn and you're just too much of a do-it-alone person. You don't acknowledge the blessings that come from partnerships in your life. And again, you're afraid of the new. You're afraid to let go and open up to something new in those partnerships, most probably. So this might, I think that might be the reason why this might be the case, that maybe the kind of person, that the opportunity that you have with a person is that they are different than what you usually meet. In some ways, maybe they are not traditional, or you feel like there's some sort of distance between you on some level. Maybe there's a difference between them and the usual circle that you hang out. Maybe they're from a different country, just just throwing ideas around. But for some reason, it's not really something that you usually would go easy towards. But this is exactly what you need to do. And for you, really, it is pile one, like I said, about relationships. And it's very funny that this Knight of Pentacles is here, because Knight of Pentacles, this is very Capricorn energy, and I've been feeling those vibes to Capricorn or Aries since the beginning of this reading. Remember, this can just be one side of you. You can be like this in one side of you, while the other side of you can be completely crazy and spontaneous. But this side of you here that needs addressing, this side of you that needs to be pushed so that you can progress in your life, is somebody who is very organized, very rhythmic, very disciplined, who works hard, very steady. And I think that this message has a double meaning. The first meaning is that this persistence, this stubbornness, this repetitiveness in your case, is what's blocking you from accepting this union, this new union. So basically, yes, this is definitely something that you can use to your advantage, this persistence, this regularity of your behavior. But at the same time, it's causing the fear of the new, because the new has appeared in your life. And because of this fear is blocking you from accepting the potential that's already in your life. But the other way to read this is that I think that you need to persist. The other way to succeed is that you need to persist. So maybe let's say that you already embrace this partnership, and then the results don't appear immediately, because some projects, some things, they take time. So another advice here from the universe is that even if you already embrace this union, this partnership, this emotional openness, don't lose your practicality. Mars is in Capricorn right now. Well, this is it's a general reading for any time, so God knows how the current transits are going to be when you're going to watch this. But basically, while you have to embrace your emotions and open up, you also have to persist. You have to remember that sometimes things take work and time, and maybe there's something that you've been frustrated and impatient about. Maybe there's just something that you've been doing on your own and wondering why is this not working, while in fact the answer is right in front of your eyes, is that you just need to be more patient, persist more, and give it more time, and open up yourself to some new partnerships that might be there. There definitely are there already for you. Okay, so that was it for you, Group 1. If you have any more specific questions, please contact me on my social media, on the links that I provide down below. If you want a more personal reading, so that I can give you more details on this thing, on this partnership, on this situation that you need to solve in order to progress in your life and fulfill your life purpose. Thank you, bye. Hello Pile 2 and welcome to your reading. Let's see what exactly you have to do so that you can manifest your life purpose and realize your full potential. What is the major decision that you have to make in order to unlock your inner magic? And we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles is a very physical card. So here, well, it's both easier and less easy. Here, the decision, the actions you need to take really are practical, at least on the superficial level. This card talks about using the resources that you possess and about the lack of responsibility dealing with thereof. Maybe, for example, to progress with the future, you want to start a business. And to start a business, you need to accumulate a certain amount of money, but you find yourself maybe falling into a loop of useless consumption on goods that you don't even need, and so this thwarts your plans. but I have the strongest feeling with this pile, I don't know why, pile 2, is that this is kind of karmic. There may be some karmic delays with this pile, some karmic practical delays to the fulfillment of your destiny, but these karmic delays, they are never here to just simply put you down. They are here as a lesson. So I feel like there is something here that you might be cautionless with on a purely practical level. You may be just throwing something to the wind. This can be financial resources, but this doesn't have to be just money. Maybe it was a practical opportunity that someone has given to you, they reached out to you and you didn't use it. And so now you are, because you threw away something that was good for you, you are having a double hard time achieving something. But this is a lesson to teach you responsibility in this area. Maybe some Saturn in the 2nd house. So like I said, you have had obstacles on your road towards fulfilling this purpose, towards getting to your destiny. Some of them have been, like I said, karmic, so this just needed to happen. But some of them, like I said, it happened because you just still had some spiritual lessons that needed to be learned in your case on how to better manage what you have, so that you can fulfill your purpose. Because if you have a brilliant business idea, but you don't take the necessary steps to realize the business idea, then that's never going to happen. If I had a million ideas for films for you guys, never picked up my camera, never filmed them, never bought tarot cards, I would not be able to film and provide you guys with content. If I failed to sit down and further my knowledge of tarot and astrology, which I have been doing for years, I would not be able to speak to you guys no matter how beautiful my intentions would be. So I feel like I said, that's easy or not, because there's a real lot of practical things that you can do here. You just have to refine your character in this very physical department, on this physical plane. So some work here is needed for you to get there. So it might take time for you actually to fulfill your purpose or to get there. But well, there's no better time than now to start, right? It's absolutely possible for you. You just need to put in the work, and that doesn't mean that this is unfair because others get it for free. That's not true. People just put in the work, but you don't see it. Maybe you have been lax in this department. Maybe there are some blockages. Maybe some sort of Saturn on your midheaven or something like this on your north node. Some karmic blockages that made it hard for you to pursue certain things. And I kind of get that because I have Chiron conjunct midheaven, so it was always very hard for me to pursue my career, and as it turned out, it was not meant to in a traditional sense, since I work in astrologer as a tarot reader. But I get that it can be hard. I understand you, there's no judgment here, I know it. But this says that you just need to persist, work harder, and be more responsible. So let's see what else tarot has for you. It's too much. Okay, so this fell out like this. How do I read this? I'm gonna do this and let it be. We have the Two of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. Again, the Pentacles and the Swords. This is very sharp energy. This is very sharp reading, very practical. That's fine. You should have the Two of Pentacles next to this Four of Pentacles in reverse, because this card reaffirms the message that was already in this Four of Pentacles in reverse, that maybe you try to do something new, but you have had limitations or trouble launching this new idea that you've had. Maybe, like I said, because you have been wasteful of your resources, but this also reinforces this karmic element. This karmic element that I'm talking to, that has taught you hard lessons in this department about what to do in this area. I wonder what kind of advice should I give you in this department. I think that in this part, definitely I would pick up an interest in astrology or tarot, so that you can discover yourself further and learn about your karmic blockages and learn how to solve them. Like I said, I offer private readings, but you can also do this yourself. You can also study astrology and tarot yourself to learn about yourself. And I feel like you just really need to grit your teeth and do it and push through this, pile 2. I feel like in your case it really is about doing this thing that feels the most scary or difficult to you. Because there is something that you have to conquer here, something practical. Like I can see a very clear opposition to the first pile where they had this cups energy, and it was visible. Therefore, they just had this energy that you need here. They needed to focus on opening themselves up emotionally to their environment. But with you, pile 2 is the reverse. It's like maybe you were brought up in an early environment that spoiled you a little bit on this practical level. Maybe you had parents that were overprotective and they sheltered you, and because of this you feel like you didn't pick up the necessary skills. And due to this fact, now you now feel like your hands are tied because you feel like you didn't do something, and when you're trying to do something new you feel like you're not capable. But I think that you really just need to push through this. So to reach your life purpose, you need to develop resistance. You need to develop resistance and patience and acceptance that it's going to take time. You need to toughen up a little bit, pile 2, in your case. Like, this doesn't necessarily has to be your whole life, you know, this may be just this one area where this energy is present, but unlocking this one area is the key to unlocking your whole life. And you're doing this in this way that I would even call harsh. That's the kind of karma that you have, pile 2. One more thing that I'm sensing, pile 2, is that you need acceptance. Acceptance of difficulties, of even the painful things that happen to you. Like, I feel like maybe this is gonna sound judgmental, but like, believe me, I understand pain. I know pain very well, but I feel like maybe a little bit of a whiny energy here, like someone who, at this point, maybe in the past it was fresh, so you were licking your wounds, and that's normal. But maybe at this point you're whining a little bit and just expecting the troubles to solve themselves. Like I said, this doesn't have to be your whole life. You may be very responsible in your office, but then, for example, because your parents sheltered you emotionally and you never were in a romantic relationship, now suddenly you feel alone, and you ended up in a relationship with the wrong person, and something went sour and you're just mad at the whole world, and you're like, how could you? While in fact you are the one who should have drawn the lines in this relationship. Again, just an example, but this is basically something that you could have control over, but you're not taking this control because you didn't toughen up yet in this department. You, pile 2, need to surrender. You need to surrender to the fact that there is karma in the universe, and surrender to your own responsibility. That's very important. Surrender to the inevitability of the fact that we all have some obstacles on our ways. You're not the only one that this happens to. No one is picking on you. This is just part of life. And I feel like in this area you may not be accepting enough of this. You may not be accepting of the fact that there is any obstacle at all. And karmic difficulties are going to keep getting your way because the universe repeats lessons until they are reinforced, until they're solid. So these kind of obstacles are going to appear ahead of you until they no longer seem like obstacles at all. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you, pile 2, because you have some work to do. But don't worry, that does not mean that you won't achieve your happiness. You just have to apply pressure. Some people need to apply compassion and release, but you need to apply pressure and strength to yourself to unlock this one area of life that's just going to unlock your whole life path and your whole destiny. So thank you for staying with me until the end. Thank you for listening to me, and please subscribe to my channel and contact me if you want a private reading. Bye. Hello, pile 3. Let's look at your card. And we have the 6 of Pentacles. So for you, pile 3, I feel like for you to fulfill your life purpose, for you, this special decision you need to make is kindness. It has to do with kindness on both a practical and emotional level. So I feel like maybe you have lost trust a little bit in not maybe in people on an individual level, like kind of like it was in pile 1, but on a more global level. So more like in humanity. I see some sort of nihilism here and loss of faith in humanity. And because of this, you may feel like giving or receiving kindness is not possible, and you're blocking yourself from it. And I feel like this attitude, this mindset is what's going to have to be changed if you want to progress in your life, because it's very important to keep faith and to understand that life is not black and white, that there are many shades of grey in between, that situations are often complicated and they shouldn't be taken at face value, that just because something might seem seemingly hurtful to you doesn't mean that there isn't a second side to it. And it plays out like this also on a global scale, as above, so below. So I really feel that you should open yourself up, but not really to one-on-one partnerships, to solo partnerships, because I feel like this you get covered. I feel like for example, maybe you're keeping a tight circle of friends, or just your partner, or a tight family circle, and you don't let anyone else in. But you need to let in something bigger than yourself. Maybe join some sort of group. Maybe this is going to be the breaking point for you, which is going to unlock some new possibilities for you. So I feel like here you really need to open yourself to some possibilities, maybe on a practical level, that are going to then bring you opportunities that are going to lead you towards fulfilling your life purpose. It's very funny because right now Saturn is going to be in Aquarius for a few months, and then next year, so this is very fitting. Maybe you are one of those who have Saturn in Aquarius natal, because that would make sense, maybe in the 11th house. Because this is this kind of, like I said, looking away, I would say, not only emotional, but because the Pentacles are very practical. I feel like I said, there really is maybe something even in your local neighborhood, something maybe even in your town, where you could fit in, but maybe you're running away from it. Maybe you have had some bad experiences with the group when you were a child, and these kind of things can stay with us for a long time. And now you are not allowing yourself to join any new situation, maybe even on the internet. But you should open yourself up to these kind of opportunities. So let's see what else Tarot has to say to you. Okay, those two. So we have 8 of Pentacles and Strength. Yeah, this really reinforces my thing that I've had before. I feel like maybe there's some practical skill that you need to fulfill your life purpose. And I feel like you may need to join some sort of group class or group study, or some sort of environment for motivation to get the 6 and 8 of Pentacles. Because I'm thinking about, for example, the language classes that I went to, and there are two kinds of people. There are those who do fairly well in home environments, who do well learning by themselves, who do well with no help from others, and they prefer it this way, and they are able to retain quite a lot. But there are also those of us who really benefit from groups as a motivation, who benefit from them in a learning environment as a meter of their progress, and those relationships become more of a stimulation to keep practical progress. So I feel like there is some sort of opportunity here waiting for you to learn some skill that may be necessary for you. Because again, the Pentacles are very practical, so for you I feel like there's some skill involved. Group 3. So I feel like there's some skill that you need to take, and maybe you've been trying to learn on your own and you have been failing. And instead you need to maybe join a class where some friends could help you, and maybe you're even going to make some connections that are going to help you put you on your right path. But maybe you feel like this really scares you. Maybe you have social anxiety, pile 3. But this also says the Strength card. Tarot also is giving you extra encouragement. It's saying, I feel like it's extra difficult for you. Like, this sounds mundane, but I feel like the reason why you didn't do it is that you may feel like you lack this. You may feel powerless. But Tarot is telling you, pile 3, is that you have the strength. You have the strength to break out of this mold. You have the strength to join the 8 of Pentacles. And I feel like also this is saying, if you already get the guts to get there, join this class that maybe lasts for half a year or a year, don't quit. You have to persevere, even if at the beginning the thought of contact with another human being sets you scurrying off in the direction of the door. You have to grit your teeth and really persevere and believe in yourself. And I feel like some wonderful new opportunities that are going to bring you towards your life purpose are going to are going to come out of this, you joining this new environment, this new situation. So don't give up, don't give up hope, pile 3, even if it feels difficult, because I feel like you're kind of building this up in your head more than necessary. Maybe some Virgo energy, because Virgo is very can be very in their heads about social situations, while at the same time they can be very disciplined on their own. So I really see a lot of encouragement from tarot here. Like, I feel like even this group is going to help you discover some strength in you that you didn't know you had. So maybe while learning this skill, you also discover that in this way some group contributes to you learning about yourself and being successful in ways that you didn't even know you had. And that is going to empower you and make you feel stronger, plus give you practical skills, which is really beautiful. Okay, so thank you very much for being here with me, pile 3. If you are interested in private reading with me, then you have all my contact info down below. And please subscribe to my channel and watch my other pick a card readings and other spiritual videos. Bye! Hello, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So let's see what kind of card you have. And we have the Hermit. We have Major Arcana card. I think this is the first one today. Okay, so first of all, the Hermit, as the name might imply, is a very solitary card, which is significant because with the other piles, what was happening is that often it involved other people, so either emotionally or practically doing something concerning them. But with this card, I feel like everything that you need to do to go towards your life purpose is completely in your head, and it's between you and spirit. So what I hear here is faith. What you're lacking to go towards this special place of yours, the barrier into breakthrough, is faith. If you can see this Hermit card, the Hermit has here in this card, this character has some sort of mask on the rise, some sort of wings, and he's blind. His eyes are covered, but on this mask there are these 3 flaming rings, and that means that the Hermit also represents wisdom and the guiding spirit. So the Hermit doesn't need his physical eyes to see. First of all, there are 3 of those flames, which is funny because it's 2 physical eyes and the 3rd eye. It would be appropriate. But the Hermit no longer looks only through the mundane. He can see more. Through his solitude, he acquired this wisdom. And you really need to trust the universe, and you need to trust in yourself and your own counsel. The Hermit usually carries a lot, but I feel some doubt here. I feel like maybe you're doubting yourself and you're doubting spirit, and this is what needs to be overcome for you to fully embrace your potential. You need to believe more that you already have the wisdom that you need, and you need to believe that through this wisdom there is a higher power guiding you. I sense a little bit of skepticism here, maybe some over-rationalization, and you know, I get that, I'm not judging you. Like, I'm an astrologer and a tarot reader, and I have seen many pieces of proof of I have seen a lot of proof of how sometimes my readings have been even too accurate. But then sometimes these moments of doubt still come, even though I have received countless proof of how astrology or tarot can be a real healing presence in my life or in somebody's life. There are still moments when you just like doubt everything, question everything, and you're like, what if this is all wrong? What if this? What if this? What if that? I feel like there are too many what ifs here. So if I can give you some practical advice here is meditate, do yoga, something physical. It's going to help you release this nervous energy, and really work on your chakras, especially your crown chakra, to connect with spirit, to connect with the higher force, to embrace your own immortality and your own divinity. I feel like you already have everything on a practical level. You just need to connect to it on a spiritual level, which is a very beautiful process. Pile 4, it's really beautiful, and I'm liking this pile. I'm liking it a lot. Okay, so let's see what more do the cards have to say to you. That's too much. Sorry, nope. Oh, okay, those cups just fell out. So we have, okay, maybe you need this, okay. 1 pentacle. We have the Eight of Cups, the Seven of Cups in reverse, and the Seven of Pentacles. Well, you get an extra card of pile 4, but maybe Spirit decided that you needed this one. So this Seven of Pentacles confirms to me that you're a very hardworking person, pile 4. It confirms this capability that we have in the Hermit, that you're really divinely guided in this practical way. You have the skills. It's not about you learning one more book or taking one more day of overtime. You already have this. You have this, but if you feel this sense of lack of fulfillment, even maybe if you have some practical success, that is because the problem is in your emotions and in spiritual faith, in this Cups energy that we have here. So this is further confirmation and encouragement in your spirit that you got this on a practical level. This is not where you should be looking for any answers, because this area of your life is going fine and it may just solve itself. It's not where you should focus things to unblock your life path. The focus should be in the Cups. It's funny that I intuitively put these Cups on the side, and I feel like this is so appropriate because I feel like it's swinging on this pendulum on two edges. Maybe some Libra energy, because Libra is very intellectually based. It's an air sign after all. You're swinging on this pendulum, and on one hand there are these moments when this shows what happens when you have faith in spirit and yourself. It gives you extra practical determination to achieve your goals. It gives you extra faith in your life. It gives you extra faith in yourself and in the validity of the knowledge and the inner riches that you have. And with this Eight of Cups is what happens when you don't believe in yourself, and then you suddenly are feeling shy, modest, you're hiding away, and suddenly you even abandon your practical efforts. It's like you know, but you forget that you know. So Spirit in this reading is telling you to go more towards the Seven of Cups in reverse, to use Spirit in your emotions to motivate yourself, and remember that any problem you have here is not practical, it's emotional. So go more towards this, and the emotional fulfillment is going to fuel your practical efforts and fuel your determination. It's very important for you not to fall back into this this pattern of false modesty, of abandoning something even if you're doing well just because you don't believe it. I have this image of someone who is a great singer with the potential for a great voice, but then they go on stage and the stage fright is so huge that they can't sing and their voice dies. This is what I'm seeing here. That doesn't mean that they don't have talent. They do have it. The key is in their emotions, in the trust, in spirit. So I to really meditate and focus on your inner emotional balance and connection with spirit. And this is going to lead you towards this emotional fulfillment in the Seven of Cups, where extra connection with spirit is going to just fuel your wisdom and your practical determination further. So thank you for this reading. I'm really loving this pile. If you want a more detailed reading about how to deal with your life path, then please contact me down below in my links. I offer private readings, and please subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much for staying with me today. Bye. Hello pile 5 and welcome to your reading. So let's see what card we have for you today. We have the Nine of Swords. Okay, so what I'm seeing pile 5 is that there is something that you're unnecessarily fretting about that's stopping you from going towards your life purpose and unlocking this magic. So something that you're overthinking to the point that you're manifesting it. Like, let's say that you are carrying something, it's a plate, and your hands are shaking and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna drop this plate, oh my god, I'm gonna drop this plate, and then you're so nervous that you drop this plate, but not because you would have dropped it in the first place, but because you talked yourself down so much that you just became too shaky to hold it. Like, do you see my point? This is some sort of negative self-fulfilling prophecy. This is some Mercury energy gone wrong here. Pile 5, that's what I'm sensing. I'm sensing that you're way in over your head about something, way in. And it's maybe something really major, and it's taking away this one thing from you that you need to unlock your life. So if I were to give you some piece of advice, is that just close your eyes and go in blindly and just go crazy about something just once and see what happens. And maybe like read, do some sports, work on some relaxation techniques to soothe this anxiety, or you know, smell incense, it's very relaxing, or like I said, look for spiritual means to do that. But I feel with this horse energy, really like some physical release of this nervous tension would be good. So maybe running, maybe something fast, maybe like, you know, running, dancing, something that would relax you. Or maybe like the other thing you could do is you could occupy yourself with some sort of task that would take care of this nervous intellectual energy, because like I said, you're just overthinking something. Let's say that, for example, you got a job offer, and this job offer is everything you ever wanted, and it's going to lead you to maybe even in this job you're going to be the future partner, and it's a great place for you. But then you don't even want to apply because you're like, oh my god, it's such an important company. What if I don't get in? What if they don't take me? And you may not even send your CV because of that. While in fact you would have gotten this position. This is just an example, but this is the kind of situation that can happen. Or maybe you just really like somebody, and this person may prove your life partner, which can unlock your happiness. But you're just way too afraid to talk to them. This is the kind of anxiety that I'm seeing here, pile 5. You just need to just close your eyes and do it, and there. Because if you keep thinking about it, you'll never do it. Okay, so let's see what kind of other cards Tarot has for you, pile 5. We have the King of Cups. It's very funny because with this pile the cards are coming out the slowest, which usually indicates a person that has some sort of problems with believing in themselves or the universe. Like you might feel stuck because of that. Oh, and then we have the High Priestess in reverse. Major Arcana card. So let's start with this King of Cups. It's just so appropriate here, my god. So the King of Cups is a very strong emotional card, and it's also a very reliable, responsible and resourceful card. And this is telling me that the source for this anxiety, pile 5, is that you doubt yourself. You don't see this in you, but you are the King of Cups. You are very versatile. Often intelligent people with a very active mind, they overthink things, so I think that's appropriate. But you're versatile, you're probably generous, maybe you even give without thinking, and you think nothing of it, and you think this is still not enough. Maybe this is the kind of person that you are, pile 5, but this King of Cups is reminding you is that you have a lot to offer. And with this comes the other side of the coin, is that you also have emotional authority. So you should value yourself more. You should value yourself more, pile 5, and it's going to ease this anxiety that we see here with the Nine of Swords. You should value yourself and your input and how much you have inside you. And when you do that, you're going to calm down. It's going to ease that anxiety. And I think it's fitting because I said that, like, you know, that you should take up some physical activity or maybe some intellectual task. And I think that maybe proving yourself at those tasks, at maybe some sport that you may be very good at, or maybe some other tasks, like taking the responsibility for somebody with this King of Cups, is going to make you feel like you're capable. Just taking this risk at taking up this project is going to prove to you how much you can do, and that is going to unlock this path that you have towards your own greatness. But first you have to take the risk at undertaking some new projects. And you can carry a lot, pile 5. I can see that with the King of Cups. You can do a lot. You just need to give yourself the chance to undertake something too, so that you can see your own authority. Maybe you are even afraid to be a leader of something. But then when the chance appears, you need to grab it. This High Priestess is everything that you needlessly reproach yourself. It's your negative self-image. It's your negative self-talk. Maybe at some point you actually made an actual mistake. And this mistake has been haunting you since then, and it leads you to this false belief that you're not capable. Maybe you had very harsh caregivers who made you feel inadequate, or made you feel as if every mistake is the end of the world. And so now You doubt your own sovereignty, your own capability that you have here in the King of Cups. So one of the reasons why you may have this anxiety and Nine of Swords is this false vision of the self that you have in this High Priestess. This inaccuracy. You need to learn how to forgive yourself, Pile 5. Forgive yourself for your imperfection and for your mistakes. Because the thing is that this is not going to stop in your life. Ever. We never stop making mistakes. This is life. And the higher the position you have, the more mistakes you make, the more experience you make in life, the more mistakes you make. That's just how it is, and that's natural. That's only natural. The worst thing you can do is not to make mistakes, be perfect, is not to learn from them and keep yourself in place by overthinking things, which is what you're already doing. So if you abandon this and you have faith in yourself and you accept imperfection and mistakes as part of the learning process, the worst is already going to be behind you. So I see that the key to you calming down this overactive mind of yours is to accept your own shadow side, which is not even that big of a deal because this King of Cups says that you really are a formidable person and you have a lot to offer and you have the authority in you. But you let your negative self-talk, that probably comes from others because these kind of things don't come from nowhere, you know. You let the negative self-talk that someone already planted in your mind to overrule your qualities. And the thing is that your soul can still sense this King of Cups. Your soul can't be tricked. Your soul knows what's up. It knows that you're a great person. And so because of this, you kind of like stuck between the truth of who you are, your potential, and this negativity. And that's maybe why your mind is racing so much, because it doesn't know what to make of that. What it needs to do is discard the illusion and go towards the truth. So embrace your own potential, your own strength, and don't let this this fake thing that makes you feel like you're not worth what you are worth talk to you. And this is going to calm you down. It's going to help you. It's going to help you with this. Like I said, undertaking something practical is going to prove this High Priestess in reverse wrong. One more thing I can tell you is don't hang out with those who represent this High Priestess in your life. Maybe you just hang out with somebody who is always putting you down. You know, we all have known this one person who like pretends to be your friend, but then in fact they're not, because all they say is these mean comments about you. Maybe you were stuck with them at school, but you know, the thing is that you're never really stuck with anyone. You have the choice to leave. And sometimes these people, they pretend they're your friend while they're not. So listen to your intuition and really don't allow those who plant and reinforce this negative image of you in your mind further. Believe in yourself, in your own sovereignty. Just honestly blindly go towards this target when you set your eyes on it, and realize that this is not true. Even if you have made some sort of mistake, that's completely fine, and that does not cross you out as a person. You have to remember that. You have to remember that you are also a divine being. So thank you very much for listening to me, Pile 5, and if you have any more questions, I can offer you a private reading, and please also watch my other pick cards, my other videos, and please also subscribe to my channel, and thank you for staying with me today. Bye. Hello, Pile 6, welcome to your reading. So let's see what kind of cards do we have today. And we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, so it's funny because the word that I heard while picking up this card in my mind is run. There is something or someone in your life that's literally leeching, sucking the energy out of you. Some situation, some person is really unconsciously wrecking it for you. And you may not notice that because you're so used to that, especially if it's a parental figure in our lives, we take that for granted. But the thing is that this is someone that's really gonna stop you from fulfilling your ultimate potential. Most probably it's a karmic learning connection that you had to learn a lesson from, but the sword energy is very cutthroat, and the ace is the most cutthroat of them all. So you need to cut this bad influence out of your life. If you do not do that, then you just won't progress on your path. You can do everything else, and this energy is going to stop, block, and thwart everything you're doing. Now, you have to be careful because this can be really sneaky. This does not have to necessarily be some evil person. This can just mean that this person is wrong for you. like it's enough to just be compatible with somebody. This person can be the greatest gift to somebody else, but this situation is not to you. Like, it doesn't have to be one person. Maybe you're just participating in something. Maybe you're in a romantic relationship, or it's a friend, or it's a family member, or it's a job, or a class you go to, or some school you go to, whatever, or maybe a place, maybe a physical place, maybe a town that you need to move out of. But there is something that's really draining you, something that's taking away your strength and your agency, and your belief in the fact that you can make tough, sharp decisions. And you need to get yourself out of this, pile 6. And of course you can, because if you couldn't, Tara wouldn't be speaking about this. So you need to really like run in the opposite direction from this thing and make sure it's no longer in your life. It really sometimes happens that we have a karma of getting rid of something from our lives. Like, I know myself that I had relationships like this, and some of them they have been really painful, because, for example, one of them involved me, my father, and cutting contact with him. And you know, a father is can be a very special person in a girl's life, so you know that was not easy. I'm just giving an example that it can get very personal and it can get very hard, but it's necessary. I just know for a fact that, for example, if I talk to my own father, I would not be able to share this channel with you guys, because he would always put me down about how I am, how I look, and my whole self. And he has made the process of the whole creation of the channel difficult for me. So if you have this kind of energy in your life, pile 6, then, like I said, run. Don't be afraid to take it out of your life, or you won't be able to progress in this thing that's the most important for your soul's progress. So let's see what other cards do we have for you guys. I had a feeling in this Ace of Pentacles, very appropriate. So much ace energy. Too many cards, sorry, nope. I need one more. Oh. Okay, okay, so no. No, we're gonna take this one, sorry. And we have Death. Wow, okay. This is a very heavy pile 6. Again, I feel like this is again one of those more heavy karmic piles. And it's just so appropriate to have death here. Wow. Okay, we're gonna put this in the middle. And this. So this talks to me about a journey that says that there is a part of your life where you're in an environment that really has put you in a disadvantaged position. Karmically, not completely out of your control. But you have the power to transform this situation into mastery. Even you being a teacher. This is some Chiron vibes that I smell here. I relate to that because I also have permanent Chiron. That's funny. But basically this says that to get over this problem, you have the potential to transform this disadvantageous situation into your own self-mastery. But the thing is that there is something you need to let go of and something you need to transform to do this. You need to transform pretty hardcore and let go of something heavy to reach your life purpose, or you will never be able to progress in life. I understand that this may feel like a prison because death seems scary, but the thing is there is no one for whom this transformation is necessary more than you. And then when you overcome this obstacle in death, you arrive at the Ace of Pentacles, which speaks about both spiritual and practical success. So I really feel like you become an authority. You can recover this energy you had in the Ace of Swords that was taken away from you through this transformation. This really is transforming something really difficult into something golden. I'm not gonna lie that this is a hard pile, but it's also very beautiful. It's very beautiful because you really took something and made gold out of something so painful here. But the thing is that I really feel like maybe you are attached to this abusive situation in some way, and that's the problem. You are afraid to let it die, but as long as you cling to it, you're just going to be It is going to be forever put in this disadvantaged position. This can be salvaged, pile 6. And you have so much more waiting for you. You have such wonderful things waiting for you. It would be a waste for you, even if this seems scary, to relinquish your own finesse, your own potential, your own gifts for the sake of something that's not good for you, just because you feel like the change is too difficult. You can do it, pile 6. I'm giving my fingers crossed for you. So thank you very much for listening to this reading, and if you want more of a personal message, I offer private readings. And also please watch my other videos and subscribe to my channel. Bye! Hello pile 7, welcome to your reading. Let's see what Tarot has in store for you. And we have the King of Wands. So what I hear for you, pile 7, with this King of Wands is that you need to believe more in your leadership, practical, stable abilities. You need to believe in the fact that you can keep your act together and that you can also be an example for others. Because I feel right now that you may be slightly doubting it, and this is what's stopping you from following the path that is right for you. But this King of Wands is telling me that you can do it, that you need to assume some sort of responsibility, some sort of leadership position, some sort of inner authority in order to be able to step into the right place for you. Because I feel like pile 7, you're a leader. I feel like you're a leader and you're maybe shirking those leadership abilities a little bit. You're slightly doubting them. You're slightly not sure if you can do it, you know. But Tarot is saying that not only you can do it, it is also your responsibility. Maybe you're afraid of the burden that this carries with you, but you were born to carry this burden. And burdens we are born to carry are not as heavy as you might be afraid they are. So if I was you, I would just take the reins, take charge of whatever situation which you need to do this in, and this is going to be a guarantee of success for you. Well, the best example I can think of is maybe something from your work situation. So maybe let's say that you've been working in a big company for years, but then you have a great business idea and you want to go freelance because you want to manage yourself, your own company, but then you're afraid if you will be able to follow through with all the practicalities that come with owning your own business. And so you keep postponing it and you just keep, following a leader of something else in the company you work for, while you have this brilliant business idea that may just be, the key for you, sitting around because you're afraid to pursue it. So this card says, go ahead, do it, pursue it. You have nothing to be afraid of. You'll be just fine. So you must step out of your comfort zone in such a way that you need to face the fact that you have to be the person in charge of some sort of situation. That may be, even a family situation. Maybe you're afraid to become a mother or a father, but this is the right role for you. Maybe you're afraid of the responsibilities of parenthood, but you're going to feel really realized in this role. In any case, this is someone capable and someone dependable. So maybe, maybe you need to work on your ability to keep a promise. Maybe you're already very gifted, but then maybe you kind of, more like fly by the seat of your pants kind of person, more like some sort of Sagittarius energy. And this says you need to commit. You need to commit to your own excellence, and then you need to embrace it in some sort of higher position. And then this is what's going to unlock the right life path for you. I'm going to look at the other cards to see what they're telling for you, pile 7. I think this is one of the harder piles because the cards don't want to fall out for me. Second time this is happening and it's already 7th reading, so I feel like you guys are one of those who has maybe some sort of Saturn or some square to the North Node or to Midheaven. Oh, okay, one fell out. And we have the Hanged Man. Oh, that's very appropriate. Okay, we're gonna pull one more card for you. No, not this one. I feel like it's not quite it. Okay, well, this fell. And the Queen of Pentacles, wow. Yeah, this is a difficult pair, but definitely a powerful one also. So it's one of those pairs where the struggle is considerable, but so are the opportunities. So this makes sense to me now. The reason why you may struggle with this King of Wands is the Hanged Man, is that assuming this leadership position requires you to look at things from a completely different point of view. It requires a certain sacrifice on your part. It requires some readjustment of your priorities, some realignment in your life. And it feels really massive and scary to you because that's how massive, how powerful this King of Wands is in your mind. But the thing is that this is necessary for you to do because you then arrive at Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is abundance. The Queen of Pentacles, she sits on top of this circle that's on fire, and the Queen of Pentacles is part of balance. The Queen of Pentacles is at peace with herself and the universe. The ultimate goal at the end of the rainbow that's waiting for you is balance, is deep understanding of life struggles, of life cycles, and of their meaning. But the key decision here to do for you is, like I said, to really assume this controlling position in the King of Wands and to put an end to this Hanged Man. We're just kind of, swinging left or right, not knowing where you're going, into a kind of this rope of the Hangman and just say, no, okay, I'm done with this, I'm in charge here, I'm the boss here. And this is going to put you in a really peaceful space. So like this burden that you feel, that you fear, it's actually never going to happen. The fear, the indecision, the fact that you're just painting it darker than this is already the worst of it. You are really going to find peace that you didn't expect you'll find in this Queen of Pentacles, but like I said, you need to make these sharp, decisive decisions, even if, like I said, it feels like a bit of sacrifice on your part. This is sacrifice that's necessary. So, for example, maybe there's a group of friends that you're attached to, but you feel they're weighing you down because your level of maturity in life or your priorities are different, and so you need to let go of them so that you can progress down your path. That this may be the case, and of course it's hard for you because maybe you're attached to them. Maybe it's your family who doesn't appreciate your creative ideas, and so you need to let go of them, but you need to make some very sharp and decisive decision that's going to put you, like I said, in this place of harmony with yourself and the universe. But the thing is that these kind of situations, they never end, there's always something that we feel kind of two minds about. They're always difficult and hard decisions to make in our lives, because like with the Queen of Pentacles, it's a circle. So it's more of an attitude that in the face of obstacles, in face of difficult situations that may seem unclear to you, you need to learn how to have a firm hand. And it's a skill you're going to have to learn and carry with you through life. It's a skill you're going to have to learn once and for all, because it's going to have to be reapplied over and over and again. So it's not like it's going to happen once and it's going to be over, no. It has to be a decisive shift in attitude on your part. This take charge quality Those who are put in leadership positions are always those who know how to make tough decisions and live with the consequences. And this is what's expected of you here, Pile 7. A leader of people is also a servant of people. A leader serves community just like everybody else, just from a different angle, from a different perspective, as the Hangman says. So you need to start looking at it like that, that the service is and sacrifice is worth it because this is your position. Maybe some Leo vibes even, Leo or Capricorn. I have a Leo midheaven and I slightly relate to this because this is power, but it's power from the angle of responsibility. It's not power for power's sake, it's power to give to others. And this is the role that you need to assume. So if you stay with me till the end, thank you very much, Pile 7. And if you want to see more tarot readings, or if you want a private reading with me, please look at my links down below and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you, bye. Hello, Pile 8. So let's look at what tarot has in store for you. And we have the Four of Wands in reverse. So for you, Pile 8, I'm getting a bit of a perfectionist vibe. I feel like you at least in this area of life, you like all things in order, you like things to be a certain way. And at some point, maybe recently, because of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, this year is very powerful and filled with changes. Some change has been thrown your way, and it has kind of messed up to your sense of perfection, of equilibrium. But what this is telling me, Pile 8, is that for you to actually succeed in life, to progress in life, you need to learn how to accept imperfection. Some other group had a message that was talking about accepting obstacles as part of life, but with you, I feel like it's on a more superficial level. I feel like for you, it's not even the fact that you need to have some suffering in life. I feel like you go through this more in a problem-solving mode. I feel like what gets to you more is the fact that there's always something to fix. You have really high standards and you expect a lot from life in this area, and you're kind of not seeing what you already have. You're missing out on all the riches that already are in your life. You're missing out on the riches that you already have in your life, so I feel like for you, it's going to be more of an attitude adjustment is necessary, so it's not even a physical change but the way you look at things. You know, like sometimes when things get down to us, when we are having a little bit of a rough time in life, it may be hard to see, you know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Maybe when you're really depressed, it may be hard to appreciate the fact that the sun is shining today. When you have serious matters that weigh you down, but with you, Pile 8, I feel like it's not the case. I'm feeling some Virgo vibes here, or like some 6th house vibes here, especially in this area that I'm talking about. I feel like I said, this is more your perfectionism, this kind of irking and imperfectionism that doesn't come from tragedy. It comes from just maybe you wanting things to be a certain way. And life is gonna keep proving you wrong until you accept the inevitable that nothing is perfect, and this world is perfect exactly because it's imperfect. This is the lesson that you need to learn, because I feel like you may be skipping on some things or saying no to some things because it seems like there's something wrong with them, while in fact they might be those missed opportunities that otherwise could lead you to a happy place in life. Maybe you meet a partner and you feel, well, he's great in this, or this, he or she is great, or this and this and that, and then yeah, but they have this one major flaw, so no, not them. But then it turns out that this actually was the right person for you, and you just said no because you felt like you was not the right person. And in this way you made a mistake because you might have closed off some doors for you. So I feel like this is the problem, the door closing here. I feel like you should give yourself more chances. Even if something is imperfect doesn't mean that it's wrong. Of course, yes, if something is, you know, abusive or like notoriously annoying, then, you know, then there's a line, but you have like the opposite of the problem, Pile 8. At least in this area, like I said, you need to accept more, you need to be more tolerant in your life. And that's what's going to put you on the path of abundance. So let's see what Tarot has to say to you some more. What other cards are going to fall out for you? Oh, now how do I read this? See, this is something that makes me love when this happens. This is exactly kind of like in the middle. And when this kind of card falls out, I have no idea how to put it. I put it in the upper position. Oh, we have the King of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. Felt quite fast though, it felt like a lightning bolt. Oh, okay, this got too. Definitely upright this time. And we have the Tower, okay. Okay, wow. I feel like the universe really likes you and is really helping you, pile 8. Boy, is it helping you. I feel like this, what I just talked about, this perfectionism can seem like a, it can seem like a minor flaw, like a minor deal compared to some other problems that I spoke about in previous piles, but the thing is that I feel like it's one of those small things that can make or break the world apart, which is why maybe this King of Pentacles was kind of like hesitating. I have come to the conclusion, and I like to do that if it happens in my readings, that if a card falls out like this, where we don't know if it should be upright or straight, that means that you have a lot of power on the outcome. That means that the energy of the card is here, but it can go either way depending on what you do. That means that it's very important what you choose here, and that's why we have the Tower. Because the Tower is this moment where everything comes crashing down. Is this moment when you're faced with a wall, where you have to make count of things. So I feel like maybe someone even told you about this, that you're making a mistake with this. And then maybe you took even something for granted, and then something happens, the universe is giving you help with this Tower card. The reality of how you have been behaving and how you have been as a person comes crashing down on you all of a sudden, and it's making you realize, this Four of Wands is making you realize the mistakes that you have been making. Or maybe for some of you it could have been the opposite. Maybe you've been through some destruction, maybe you've been through some tough things. Maybe some things have maybe overburdened you to the point that now you have a problem with this Four of Wands in reverse because you feel like you can't take it anymore. Because you feel like you can't take any more obstacles, problems, or imperfection, because you want your world to be ordered, you want the world to make sense. But there's an element of lack of faith in this reading, pile 8. You need to have more faith in the universe, because even the star moment when the universe sent it to you, it did it for a reason. The universe does nothing without a reason. All the lessons, all the blockages are here to help us, as contradictory as this may sound. So it's important to really believe that things are going to turn around and they're going to be for the best. Micromanaging in this small way, pile 8, is not going to get you anywhere. And it's like the number one obstacle that you need to change within yourself to get to the place where you actually feel at peace. I feel like this is what you want, the place that you want in whatever area this is peace. And peace in this one area is going to spread to peace in other areas of your life. And now I'm thinking about this King of Pentacles, how he can go both ways. Of course, as all the kings in tarot, it speaks about some sort of capability and power, but the thing is that this king could go both ways here. And because of that, I feel like it's really important for you to go towards the positive qualities of this king. It's important for you to choose the right side, because this is telling me this kind of story that if you don't let go of this perfectionism, of this bitterness, of this pettiness, then the bitterness is going to get the better of you. That you're going to really start exhibiting the harsher hearts, the nitpicking, the nagging, or you can just really be alone. While if you actually accept and embrace this Tower moment, if you accept the changes that are necessary here for you, then you can really be somebody who becomes a practical authority in their environment and a fulfilled and peaceful person. It's very funny because I said that I smell Virgo vibes, and the King of Pentacles really smells Virgo to me, because he can, in his good upright position, can signify logical, practical and problem-solving abilities, because that's what the Pentacles are. And the King is someone he's got those Pentacles, he knows what's up with them, and that's very Virgo vibe here. So I really feel like I really feel this Virgo or sixth house vibe, that you really are the person who can stitch and fix situations, who can stitch the wounds, who can mend things. Or you can be sour about how something didn't go right because it's not perfect. But the key decision here is, like I said, this four of wands is the acceptance and seeing the beauty in the imperfection. Because if not, like I said, there really is this darkness, sourness and bitterness and loneliness that awaits you. But like I said, this tower moment is going to help. How a man responds to crisis can make or break him. This is how a person's character shows his true colors. If after something really bad happens to you, does this get the best of you, not in such a way that you suffer, because suffering is inevitable, but in such a way that you start lowering your soul. I remember the first thing that I thought when really bad things were happening to me, when my life was falling apart, is that even though my practicalities were shattering, I remember telling to myself that no matter what, I don't want to become like the abusers, and that I don't want the situation to make me into a lower person spiritually. And that's what this is about. This is a fight for your soul, Pile 8. It's a very serious fight. It starts with smaller things, with appreciating the smaller things, with being happy, with gratitude, and with believing. So I'll really take account of that, and maybe get into meditation, astrology. Prayer would be really good for you, Pile 8, because the stakes are high here and it's about your soul. It's funny because it's not just supposed to be key on how to make you happy, but it turned out a little bit moral. But I feel like this is what you need here. This is why tarot gave you this kind of cards. So if you stay with me till the end, thank you very much, Pile 8, and please subscribe to my channel for more tarot readings, for more spiritual content. Bye. Hello, Pile 9, and welcome to your reading. Let's look at the card that we have here. And we have the Magician in reverse. Oh, okay. Well, the Magician is hands down, at least in its upright position, it's hand down one of my favorite cards. Because the Magician speaks about manifestation and our power to make magic in this universe. How through simple physical acts, us human beings, how we have power to change, to transform, to do for better or for worse. The Magician in reverse is speaking about a person who misuses this aspect of being human. So either they surrender their power, they act as if there's nothing they can do, it can symbolize powerlessness, or they use it for lower motives like greed or envy or for corruption. So for you, Pile 9, it's important to really take count of your own power. I'm feeling some Scorpio 8 vibes here because the Magician is a very Scorpio card, at least in my opinion. Maybe it's just a personal bias because I'm a Scorpio, but I'm feeling some Scorpio or 8th house planet vibes here for you, Pile 9, because this is somebody who is powerful and deep down they know it, but then something goes wrong. I'm gonna look at the other cards to tell you what went wrong here exactly. And it's very important here for you to put this Magician in its upright position, to step back into your own power, Pile 9. The Magician is the card of transformation that shows us that we can transform the worst of our circumstances into gold. Perhaps you just come from these kind of disadvantageous circumstances in this situation, and this may have turned you sour, so maybe you have misused the Magician energy, or so maybe you feel powerless because of the hard circumstances that you are in. But this card is the universe reminding you that you have the power to turn things around. We all do. But for you especially, it's this belief, not even the practical ability, but the belief that you can, is what's going to make it or break it for you in your life. It's the faith in your own power. So let me look at the other cards that Tarot has for you. Okay, this too many cards. Only one extra. Maybe you should have this one extra. Okay. Well, you get one extra card, pile 9, because tarot says so. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse, a lot of Cups energy, 5 of Cups and 6 of Wands. Well, with this Magician, this Cups energy is not surprising me. Tarot is definitely giving you an encouragement here, pile 9, which is what is emphasizing for me this thing that I've had before, that this Magician in reverse happened to you because you, in this situation, have had some sort of disadvantageous circumstances. Maybe you come from a harsh family environment, or maybe you have very little money in your family. And I know how hard that is because, yeah, I also came from a situation where my mom and I were always had very little money, and I started to work very early while still studying because of that, so I get you, pile 9, believe me. But this 6 of Wands is an encouragement. It's saying that you can win. Tarot says that there is absolutely a possibility for you to win in this game of life. You have the potential for it. So when you feel like all is helpless, or like if you feel powerless, like this Magician, you have to remember that there is a promise of triumph for you, pile 9. Just because you come from humble beginnings does not mean that you can't go somewhere, because everyone has a path, and yours is the one of overcoming this adversity that I feel you started here with. This is just like, this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that's telling you that it's sitting there waiting for you to just take the right steps. So like I said, Tarot is giving you this extra encouragement for you to remember that whenever you're struggling, that it's possible. That you have to believe in your own power. Not even in the universe, but in yourself. That you can do it. One of the previous piles had this really clear message about letting go of the rational parts of themselves and to have faith. But for you, it's more about believing in yourself. Believe that you have the power, you have the inner authority that all human beings do have, that comes from their spirit. And you need to embrace that. With the 10 of Cups in reverse, it kind of reminds me of this Magician, because it speaks about the fact that I can share this feeling that I've had before, that there is a reason for this Magician for you, and that is somebody else. Maybe a bad example in a family environment that sets you off on the wrong path, or maybe just people raining on your parade. The cups are blessings, and imagine a cup being held like this, and 10 of Cups is a lot of them, but then they're all upside down, so they're all pouring down on you. So I see this bad influence in your life just pouring down, like raining with those many cups on your parade. And I see that they're just trying to steal your light where you shouldn't have let them. But then again, when we're young, we're often in such circumstances, even practically, where we can't get out because you would be on the street if you didn't live with your parents, even if they're abusive. And then those who may even live with their families and go to a foster home, often come from one abusive family into the other. These kind of stories do happen. Sometimes you feel like there is no escape. But Tarot is promising you that even if you've been through all those things, there are still wonderful things awaiting you. Pile 9, that even if you've been through abuse, and even if you feel like some people have ganged up on you, you should remember that you have the power to transform those circumstances into a success story. I see somebody maybe who has been through a lot, and then they become a counselor, or they write their memoirs and it goes viral, it becomes very successful. And in coaching or in telling their story, this person finds peace. So I definitely feel like there have been some overwhelming circumstances that have put you into this situation, and I think you should not blame yourself for them, pile 9, but you should not let them stop you forever. Grieve if you have to, but remember that ultimately you have the power to turn your life around. You don't have to be the victim of these tough circumstances, because you have the promise of the 6 of Wands waiting for you. You are a formidable person, because if you wouldn't be, the Magician would not be there. This is Tarot's promise to you that you really can overcome whatever circumstance you come from, however bad, into something wonderful. And what's confirmed for me further in this 5 of Cups, pile 9, is that, speaking about this Magician, I feel like the reason for this Magician in reverse is that you chose to cope with this 10 of Cups. What has led you to this Magician is the 5 of Cups, is that because your own powerlessness scares you, or because you can't bear the truth, the reality of how you're misusing this Magician energy, you're lying to yourself with this 5 of Cups. You are telling yourself that you are fine with half measures. You know, people, let's say that some people come from family of drug dealers, like this is a very extreme example, but it happens. And often the children of those drug dealers learn on their lap how to do the same, how to make money that way. And that's of course a very difficult situation. And this person even might tell themselves, oh, I'm happy because I make money doing those drugs. But that's not true, because deep down they dream of getting away and having a healthy union with a healthy person. But because they feel like they can't do it, they feel this powerlessness, they tell themselves that it's okay, that what they have is okay. So maybe somehow you're making doing this health situation, you have found a coping mechanism, and you keep telling to yourself that, oh, that's fine, or there's nothing more that you can do. And this puts you into an even more of a disadvantaged position. Maybe this is how you cope with this abuse. You're trying to banalize it, but like being, oh, that's normal, oh, that's not a big deal, because you couldn't bear the earth-shattering consciousness of how difficult this has been for you. You couldn't bear the amount of pain and strife that this Ten of Cups has given to you. And you know, the thing is that our mind and our souls, they break when faced with pain so often. So you have my compassion, Pile 9, I understand that. We are not meant to live in pain forever. Pain is a learning experience, but it's not a natural human condition. So of course that some coping mechanisms, they would have been created in this kind of situation. But the thing is that you really do have the power to turn it around. And if you keep being satisfied with half measures, you will never step into your power, and you will never realize how perfectly happy you can be. Of course, I used quite a drastic example with this drug situation, but you know, it doesn't have to be like this. You may come from a normal family, but let's say that you have some relationship karma. You have a heavy relationship karma, and so let's say that you dated someone who was abusive. And so right now maybe you're dating someone who is abusive as well, and you keep telling yourself, oh, that's fine, that's normal, and you're giving up your own power to choose a partner. That's good for you, because this is how you're coping with this, you know. But in this case, the universe is telling you that the perfect person is somewhere out there for you. Like I said, this is just an example, but you know, it really can go many ways. Maybe it happened in the workplace. Maybe you have really feel unappreciated and ostracized in your work environment. Maybe you feel abused in a material world. Maybe your boss doesn't treat you well, and so you put up with it and you tell yourself that this is how it is, but at least you get your paycheck. But there is a career opportunity somewhere out there waiting for you that you're missing out on, because you refuse to acknowledge that you have the power to quit this job and go do whatever makes you happy. Whatever situation you're in, no matter how dire, if something is wrong for you, then you have the power to quit. And I'm not saying it's gonna be easy right off the bat, but it sure as hell will be better if you just concede, make peace with the wrong situation, and you give up on your power. Again, it's a pretty drastic example, but recently I watched this video on YouTube about a guy who came from really abusive beginnings. His biological family died, so he was put in a foster home, and the foster home was abusive. So the guy ran from home at age 8. Like, imagine how hardcore this is. You're 8 years old. You're a kid, and he has been living on the streets for many years before he found peace and he became a teacher and a counselor. But do you see, this person, even at the age of 8, had the sense not to put up with bullshit, not to put up with an environment that wasn't good for him. And of course, this was definitely, it's a hardcore example, was definitely a very hard life, but it's an example of what you should do, that even in the worst situation possible, there's always a way out. You have the power, Pile 9, to find this way out. And this is what you need to find in yourself to progress in your life. So if you have stayed with me till the end of this reading, then thank you very much. And please watch my other videos and subscribe to my channel. I have other pick cards and other spiritual videos. Thank you, bye. Hello, Pile 10, the last pile today. Let's see what Tarot has in store for you. And we have the Three of Pentacles. In the other piles, I just explained the first card right off the bat, but with you, Pile 10, don't know why, have no clue why. I just felt like I need to pull other cards immediately. So we're gonna start with the whole story. I don't know why, I just feel the urge to do that. I think it's important frame this key answer for you. These keys, these pentacles. Oh, in context. Okay, we have the Seven of Wands, the upright position. Oh, something fell out, but that's too much, sorry. Too many cards here. Oh, this thing kind of jumped with and fell back in. Oh, there we go. And we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay, so what I can tell you about 10 right off the bat with the Three of Pentacles is that your key to leading a happy life is that you're really good at something. I feel like maybe this is some favorable self-note aspect here. There is some gift that you bring into this life that makes you perform certain things with easiness. And it may come from a past life. You just naturally are gifted in this area, and it's a practical skill. It may be whatever, since this is a general reading, but you're good at it. And this ability of yours to wield this like a weapon, this skill, is also what's going to make you progress and be on the right path in your life. And I feel like you have been there at some point. But you know, the universe likes to mix things up a little bit. And so what happened is that the Knight of Wands in reverse happened. Something changed. Something was shaken up for you. Your quest to pursue this thing that you're good at has been interrupted. There was some change. Something sudden happened. Maybe you were a renowned employee of a company and the company moved to close down or something. Or maybe you got sick, or someone in the family got sick and maybe you had to relocate. Something happened that got you off this track. And for some reason this was major enough that maybe you needed to requalify in some way. The thing is that I keep getting this South Node astrology vibes. If you know one thing about South Node in astrology, is that we are supposed to go away from the South Node, but go towards the North Node. But once we start embodying the North Node qualities, we can go back to the South Node and use it as our weapon again, use it as our asset. But we need to be mindful of how we're doing it, because when it comes to the South Node, we tend to fall short on the qualities of whatever sign and house we have there. We can express a bit more of a negative or excessive side of that sign. Of course, it depends on the individual person, but I feel like there's some karmic South Node energy here, and this shake-up happened, of course, not to just hurt you, because you needed to learn something new. You needed to leave this comfort zone that you have here, and you need to go towards something else. The Seven of Wands is speaking about your ability to triumph in the face of obstacles. The Knight of Wands is you having to put this weapon down. So I feel like it was more of a test from the universe. How badly do you want this thing? You are doing very well untested, but how will you do once we throw this in your way? And the thing is that you are supposed to come back to the state of being where your mastery is being applied. So you are supposed to use those gifts, yes. But what's important is the process of testing, because the thing is that no matter what happens, there are always some obstacles in life, and greatness really shines when it comes out of a crisis and it comes out smelling like a rose. So I feel like this is more of a cyclical thing, that you have this potential, but it's going to be constantly put to test. I feel some Pluto vibes here also, because Pluto does that. It triggers us in those ways, it provokes us. Sometimes in a way that we feel like it's unexplainable, but it's all for the purpose of our soul development. I have Pluto in the first house, conjunct the Sun, and I have Pluto dominant, so I know how that feels. And Pluto gives us incredible gifts, psychic gifts. And you know, if you say psychic, you can be like, wait a second, I'm not a tarot reader like you are. But psychic, it can be applied in many areas of life. If you're psychic, you can be a skilled mathematician and just know what to do. Psychic powers are really they're an advantage in life in any field. Honestly, you might they're not very well seen at face value, so you might underestimate them. but I feel like you have some really psychic powers in whatever field you have here. And I feel like you're going to have to prove in this life that over and over you are overcoming whatever adversity sits here. This is the kind of experience we're going for. So the key for you to be happy in life is to become comfortable with the process of when things get rocky, you can triumph. Because the Three of Pentacles is more of a calm and practical energy, you know? It's like, you know, you might sometimes feel like I said, like this guy in the lab who works in his lab in their job, and he suddenly there's a war and they're shooting at him. And now he needs to take out the gun and shoot back at his attackers when all he wanted to do is play with the vials. But you need to do that. You need to be this kind of scientist who carries a bazooka on his back. Like, just kidding, but you need to be able to deal with this kind of situation. Maybe have some sort of emergency procedure for a rainy day. But you need to be able to perform those skills in face of adversity, because if not, this is going to get you down. But I think this is a good omen, the Seven of Wands. I think you can do it. It's just important to remember to come back. You have to show triumph in face of adversity over and over again. Because life is not stagnant, you know. Like life is, it's like waves. It goes up and down, up and down. One moment we're doing great. It feels like things are easy. Next moment it doesn't feel that way anymore. And it's very important for you, Peloton, to develop this quality of really overcoming these situations and coming back to the place where you feel like you're competent. And then you're going to feel more and more and more competent the more situations you overcome. So this is the key for you to fulfill life, is to know that you have this ability inside you, is that you are able to navigate rocky waters. So if you have stayed with me until the end, Peloton, thank you very much for listening to this reading, and please watch my other videos and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more pick a card readings and more spiritual and tarot and astrology content. Bye!